see. Uh, she window cap? No, not window capture.
Alrighty then. So there we go.
There we go.
And it's even counting 2 watching now, so that's good to see. Alrighty then. So there we go.
There we go.
Oh, and it's even counting 2 watching now, so that's good to see.
Oh,
I thought I muted that. I went to another.
it was me. I didn't mute mine. I thought I had.
Well, apparently when I just looked, apparently mine wasn't muted either. So I just went ahead and did that. So, anyways, Rick, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing good, good, good. And yourself?
All right, just you obviously know what I was trying to get done before the show here.
I'm a bit fired up. I can't wait till we bug out.
Yeah, as it were. Hmm. So apparently, it's now still only counting 1 view. All right, I'm gonna. Rick, why don't you show everybody your artwork you just did? I'm gonna go off camera here for a quick moment.
If you doing, I was going to say doing that. Maybe you want to click me so I'm big at that point, so people can see. Okay. Hey everyone. Okay, so you see my artwork for Snowdrift #1 which is basically complete. It's ready to go to the printers. But the guy that I'm getting to do it, he's got to overhaul his system, so printing won't begin to either late December or early January on it, which will give me time to get Canadian Shield done as well. But with that said, I might work on this a little bit more, but I did start doing a couple of the characters that we are going to be reading about tonight. Green Mask here on the left and Flame on the right. Of course, this is just some basics. I got to go over them, get them done real good. Um, the one guy looks a bit Mexican, the Green Mask, from my reading, anyways. Um, and we read the Flame last month, and I have a character called the Flame as well, which sometime in 2023 here I will be launching crowdfunding probably on my birthday. Um, and we'll be able to see the 3 covers here in a second for my next 3 books. Canadian Shield 3, Snowdrift 2, and then there is the Flame #1. Um, maybe I can get that up, the Flame by themselves. So, do. Scooby doo doo dibbity dibbity dabbity doo. Yeah, there's it without all the extra stuff around it. But this one is on Indiegogo in demand right now, along with the Canadian Shield #2, which I was talking about earlier. Okay, so let's see. And is there anybody in the chat besides me and Mike? No. So, and happy Veterans Day to any viewers out there that are American. Happy Remembrance Day to any Canadians. It's basically the same thing. Just remember, freedom isn't free. may have free in it, but it ain't free. People have paid the price for it. Uh, yeah, what else to talk about? Um, yeah, so I have an expanding universe. Up to my seventh campaign, I will be having more and more books come out. So, hey, that's always good, right?
All right, I'm back, so I'm gonna minimize you again, my friend.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, thank you for holding down the fort. Let's see where we at now. Considering how much information we got to kind of go through, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get started right away here. I'd prefer to wait to see if we get a few more people. I wait, prefer to wait to like 8 minute mark, but kind of up on 6 minutes here. So I want to. I figure, especially with all the information we got to do preview wise, um, I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. So we're
Yeah,
gonna before we get into the reading tonight, we're of course gonna just do a little intro pieces on some of the characters: Blue Beetle, Green Mask, and Zanzibar. Um, we of course already did the Flame, so everybody knows that the Flame is a type of hero that can actually travel through flames, right?
yeah,
Remember that, Rick?
yeah. That was definitely interesting stuff.
Mhm.
Finding that out.
All right, so and if you want to make a comment here and there in the chat, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, maybe I'll do it.
Anyways, so why don't we go ahead and get started then here? And as always, Rick, as if you have anything, if anything, catches your attention or anything catches your attention or anything like that, feel free to comment or ask questions.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, anyways, let's go ahead and I'll read a portion. I won't read the entire thing because obviously now eventually, of course, his Daniel Garrett is his alter ego. This is Blue Beetle. Publisher Fox Comics, except for numbers 12 through 30. Holyoke. That's I believe. Oh yeah. That's probably the actual book. Blue Beetle, Blue Beetle Volume One, but exception of issues number 12 to 30. Holyoke Publishing did those. Charlton Comics, DC Comics, first appearance in Mystery Men Comics number 1, which we'll be going over tonight. Cover date August the 1939, the Golden Age version. Silver Age version, Blue Beetle Volume 3, created by Charles Nicholas Wojciechowski. Alter ego Daniel Garrett. Um, Abilities: hand-to-hand combat, flight, energy projection, um, superhuman strength, superhuman durability. Now, of course, we'll allude to this in a moment, but he didn't necessarily start out with those superpowers. His first appearance, he was actually a non-powered hero.
Yeah, and looks a lot like what's his name? Green
Crimson
Hornet.
Avenger, Green Hornet,
Yeah,
Sandman, those type of heroes. Yeah.
yeah,
Dan Garrett, or Dan Garrett, depending upon the spelling, whether it's one T or two T's, is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by multiple companies, including Fox Comics or Fox Feature Syndicate, Charlton Comics, and DC Comics. Garrett was created by Charles Nicholas Wojciechowski, um, and made um, and made his first appearance in Fox's Mystery Men Comics number 1 during the golden age of comics. Garrett is the first character to become the Blue Beetle, predating Ted Cord and Jaime Reyes.
Jamie Reyes, yeah.
Yeah,
So even this one that looks like what's his name? I was just saying, or we were just saying,
Sandman,
is
Crimson Avenger.
yeah, Green Hornet. He's still Dan Garrett too.
Yeah, that's still Dan Garrett too.
Okay, so I guess he goes through a costume change for some reason.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, and that'll be hit upon in the upcoming issues. But anyways, the character first appeared. I think that's supposed to be in, not by, in Fox Comics in the August 1939 issue of Mystery Men Comics, with art by Nicholas um, Wojtkowski, as Charles Nicholas. I could see why he wouldn't include his last name. That'd be very difficult to,
yeah,
you know,
say
though the Grand Comics database tentatively credits Will Eisner as the scripter. In other words, the guy who wrote the story.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I did look that up today and saw the Blue Beetle has starred in a comic strips, and radio serial, but like most golden age of comic book superheroes, fell into obscurity in the 1950s. The comic book series saw a number of anomalies in publication. 19 issues, numbers 12 through 30, were published. And I think that's the Blue Beetle book itself, not the character, obviously. But
yeah,
number 12 through 30 were published through Holyoke Publishing, which I just told you about. No issue 43. Now, basically as I told you, it started out. He was starting out with Fox, then went to Holyoke, then went back to Fox. Uh,
yeah,
no issue number 43 was published. Publication frequency varied throughout the run, and there were gaps. Where issues were not published, with large ones occurring in early 1947 and between mid 1948 and early 1950. In the mid 1950s, Fox Comics went out of business, and despite allegations that they sold Blue Beetle's rights to Charlton Comics, there is no proof that a formal sale took place. Charlton nevertheless published a few sporadic adventures of the Golden Age character before revamping the hero in 1964. Charlton tried 3 times to use the character to carry a self-titled series. 2 of the attempts retained the numbering of a previous title and were eventually replaced with new titles that carried on the numbering. The new series was short-lived. So that's basically the publication history.
yeah,
Okay, now this panel you see right here, and I will highlight it here. Okay, it didn't get that much. This is what we're talking about. You see, that's him in the doorway there.
yeah. The Blue Beetle, yeah, and I think we're gonna see that panel tonight as we're
Right,
reading.
art by Charles Nicholas. So let's see. I'll probably go through maybe the first paragraph or two here, and then we'll go on to looking at the green mask and all that. Dan Garrett was a son of a police officer killed by a criminal. This Fox Feature Syndicate version of the character debuted in Mystery Men Comics #1, cover date August 1939, and continued through issue number 31. Now that's Mystery Men Comics number
Yeah,
31. He began appearing in his own 60-issue series shortly thereafter. So he went from the anthology series to his own eponymous series.
well, he was obviously popular back in the day. Then,
Yeah. Fox Feature Syndicate sponsored a Blue Beetle Day at the 1939 New York World Fair on August 7th, 1940, beginning at 10:30 a.m. and including 300 children in a relay race finals at the field of special events following um, preliminaries in New York City parks. The race was broadcast over radio station WMCA. Um, Now I don't know. Okay, was it the 1939 World Fair or was it the 1940 World Fair?
It,
Uh,
they, oh yeah.
that's kind of okay. Rookie
Uh,
patrolman Dan Garrett originally fought crime as the Blue Beetle without the benefit of superhuman abilities. Garrett later donned a bulletproof blue costume described by Garrett as being made of cellulose material, which was, quote, as thin and light as silk, but stronger than steel, and temporarily gained superhuman strength and stamina by ingesting the mysterious vitamin 2X. Now, this idea of of this idea did not end with Blue Beetle. There'd be another Golden Age hero that we'll get to down the line. Hour Man had basically had the same
yeah.
thing, and of course, there was Bane as well in the Batman series.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
I think there's lots of heroes that have taken something to gain strength or something for time or whatever.
well, yeah, particularly with some of these Golden Age heroes, there were let's just say they had some interesting origins in which something happened to them in which you know some
So
weird thing happened either because they did ingest a drug or well, let's see,
yeah.
Dolman, another
Yeah,
Golden
there
Age.
was even a TV show like that. I forget what it was called. A friend introduced me. It was really corny though. It was back in like the 60s, I think.
Hmm.
I got some episodes on my thing, but like I said, I forget what it's called, or I did have. Maybe I can quickly, not that it matters. Let's see
Yeah.
whether I can quickly figure out the title to that
Anyway, okay,
while
so
you while we're going on.
like the Green Hornet, the Blue Beetle would use his signature scarab symbol to bedevil criminals, leaving it to be easily found, hanging it down into a room on a string, or even projecting its enlarged image onto a wall with a flashlight, which was a classic trick back in. So that's as much as that we're gonna read here because that's all that's needed for right now. And
Yeah,
much of the more detailed information we'll get through the stories anyways. So let's see. Um,
yeah, I can't find it. I think I deleted it because I watched part of the series. It was really corny. I wanted to watch the rest, but I didn't think I was ever going to, so I think I deleted it. But it was a trope back then. People used it.
yeah,
No, we all use different tropes even nowadays.
yeah. So anyways, so I'm gonna now go ahead and go over to the mask. Now here, of course, it says the Green Mask is the name of two fictional comic book superheroes, both published by Fox Feature Syndicates. Both are considered in the public domain, with some of the original stories having been reprinted by AC Comics. We're gonna right now focus more on the first one here, Michael Shelby. So, in story information, alter ego Mike or Shelby, Michael Shelby. I think it's been said as both Shelby and Selby. Partnerships Domino, Super Strength, and Flight. So, let's see. We'll probably go through more of it here. Just well, let's see. I'm just seeing. I think for our purposes, I probably will just do the first couple of paragraphs here real quick for because we don't need, as I said, we don't necessarily, and then I'll go down to powers and abilities here, afterwards. But I'll read these, at least these first two paragraphs. and you see the green mask right there. Uh,
As I'm drawing here, actually, or going over some of my lines.
all right. The first Green Mask debuted in Fox's Mystery Men Comics #1, cover date August 1939. The writer was not credited, although it may have been Will Eisner. Now, a lot of people back then, Will Eisner did have his pen in a lot of issues, as you well know, Rick, because we've covered a lot of characters who have been written to some extent by Will Eisner. Of course,
Yeah.
Sheena, who we featured last week from Fiction House. So, um,
And of
anyway,
course, his probably most famous character, the Spirit.
mm-hmm.
I think it.
The artwork was by Walter Freem. This Green Mask final appearance was in Mystery Men Comics #31, February 19th. So basically, at the end of the book there. Originally, the Green Mask really was a mystery man. The secret identity of this quote unquote modern Robin Hood kept just that from the readers for many of his earlier appearances, and known only to reporter News, quote unquote, Dokes, later News Blake, who was the only one who could contact the pulp style costume vigilante when needed. Okay, now, again, for our purposes right now, that's, as I said, we'll probably see the rest of that in as we read the stories. Um, you all right there?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just, as you can see, going over my
Actually, I
lines.
don't because I'm actually on the the. Uh, okay.
I just figured as you're reading this out, uh,
Hmm. Yeah, because I'm hearing scratchings and stuff like that. That's why I was asking.
oh,
Um,
that's. I don't think it's picking up my me drawing, but maybe it's my heavy breathing too.
yeah, could be. Anyways, powers and abilities. The first Green Mask originally had no superpowers. They said this was a pulp style hero. That's basically like I think the design that the Blue Beetle was, in his first appearance, Sandman, Green Hornet, Crimson Avenger. The guys who wore the business suits and the fedoras and the capes. Those guys were considered what they called pulp style heroes, I guess. Uh, Despite this, the first issue of this series retconned his origin so that he became the Green Mask after gaining a number of superpowers after being exposed to Vita rays, vitamin 2X Vita rays, including superhuman strength and the ability to fly. He would occasionally display other powers like invulnerability, usually as required by the plot. In addition to superpowers, the Green Mask carried a gun, usually a revolver or an automatic. Although he briefly used a quote unquote paralyzer pistol. Again, another hero who invented his own type of weapon that didn't involve bullets. Um,
Or that
he,
didn't involve lethal bullets.
yeah, he had confiscated. He had confiscated from a mad scientist for those times when being super was just not enough. All right, so now we're gonna. I don't think there's much information in here on Zanzibar. He's a magician, but we'll see. Yeah, they don't really have much information on him. Zanzibar's a magician, and when I was kind of doing some preview stuff earlier on him, I discovered um, his first villain that Zanzibar faces might sound familiar to you, albeit it's not exactly who you think it would be. Um, anyway, so now that we got through the intro stuff taken care of there, Let's go ahead and get to the comics themselves. Um,
Okay. I'm just
I'm
gonna
going to start with Mystery Men number one.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
So there's Fox Feature Syndicate. And trying to find Mystery. There it is right there. Of course, 31 issues, sequence 1 through 31. Cover dates August of 1939 to February 1942. So, anyways, let's get over here. Here we go. All right, here we are. 10 cents, number one. And they have a little FP with a shield on a shield there. Mystery Men Comics. Every issue, of course, Rex Dexter, 64 pages of color. Um,
And that actually, I don't think that's supposed to be a shield. I think it's supposed to be a fox head
Foxhead.
because
Okay.
it's sort of got ears there.
Okay. Yeah.
Although it could be a shield like that too,
Yeah.
but with it being Fox Comics.
Yeah. That would make more sense. Yeah. Every issue, Rex Dexter of Mars. Now, from what I understand, Rex Dexter of Mars is a pretty popular feature too back in these times too. As a sci-fi one. The
When
Go ahead.
when I looked at this cover earlier when you sent it to me, I thought the green mask here was Blue Beetle because they have his mask on here being blue
Yeah. The
and
Blue
not green.
Beetle.
And the name is right next to him too.
Yeah. Let's see. A strange figure suddenly appeared. A shot rang out, and the fiend was stopped in his tracks. Thrills, fun, mystery, exciting exploits.
So
You got the damsel in distress over there. Got the
yeah,
guy on the ground with his gun. You got what looks like a mad doctor or something like that,
yeah.
and then maybe Blue Beetle right there.
Well, that is the green mask. You know,
Uh,
from looking at it, the costume and all that.
hmm.
That is actually supposed to be the
And they
green
just
mask.
miscolored it here.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they have the Blue Beetle name right over or above him, like right next to him.
All right, an open letter to you. Howdy, boys and girls. After months of hard work, we put together the swellest comic magazine in the world. We've included everything you want: thrills, action, fun, and mystery. 64 pages of new, complete, action packed stories. We want this to be your comic magazine. So we're going to give away $1 each for the 10 best letters telling us the features you like best and your reasons, as well as your suggestions for new ones that you'd like to see in Mystery Men comics. And then,
Wow, $1. Okay, it was a lot back then.
yeah, back in 1939, that was quite a bit. I guess that'd be like today. It'd be like telling the kid, "Yeah, we're gonna send you $20."
Yeah,
By today's economy, I would think.
maybe even 100.
Yeah,
and
get
I
your letter
see
start.
and I see something happen to the side of this one. With the where the like the left side where it's got some of the words out of the word bubble.
Uh, Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it didn't even dawn on me that that's what it was.
A little bit of damage somehow, but hey,
Mm.
not a biggie.
You green with envy with this mask. uh,
I gotta try to do some sort of puns.
uh,
Well, I guess I don't have
well,
to.
if you can do it on the YouTube screen too, just to try to keep the watch number up because
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I went into I had the whatchamacall open.
it's going back down to what now we're back up to two.
Uh,
It went down to
I have the YouTube chat open, so if I chat, I chat in the YouTube chat.
yeah. All right, so here we go. The Green Mask, a modern Robin Hood by Walter Freeman. Look at that, yeah, primarily blue costume with the actual green mask.
Yeah, I think they didn't do a good job of a background color here with how they do his cape. It's blue on the outside and red on the inside, so you actually think the red is coming into his cape that's in the background.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very interesting point to be made there. All right. I'll do the kid here, and then I guess we can try to we at least for the moment we can we can alternate these characters on the in that second panel there.
Uh,
Warpstra, read all about it. Wave of death, sweet country, Warpstra. And then I'll start, and then um I'll do the first and the third guy. The third guy's the old guy in the bottom
yeah,
corner
yeah,
there, and then you do the guy in the middle. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Hmm. Gentlemen, if these deaths continue, this insurance company will be ruined. We'll have another panic.
There is no apparent sign of foul play. What can we do?
Hmm. The police are helpless. Okay. In another part of the city, Rocky Vallone, head of a vicious murder ring, tells tells off one of his mobsters. Okay. All right. You want okay. So I'll do Rocky. You do the first guy there, and I'll do
Okay.
Rocky.
Rocky, don't you think we ought to lay low for a.
Sh- Shut up! I'm boss here. If you're getting soft, maybe you'll be one of those accidental deaths. Um, in a secret hideout, the Green Mask reads the headlines and determines to do something about it. And I'll do the Green Mask. Um, the old insurance racket on a major scale, huh? Let's see. The Green Mask makes one of his unexpected visits to the only man aware of his identity, News Blake, ace reporter of the Daily Globe, who has in the past been given exclusive scoops for his newspaper. So you want to do news here? You want to do news, Blake?
Okay. Things sure are quiet. If only something would happen around here. Well, your sudden appearances are gonna give me heart failure one of these days.
Hmm. Hmm. Pin your hat on. There's plenty to do. Now listen. These insurance deaths are the result of an organized ring. We've got to smash it.
Here's where your truly gets another scoop. I'm all ears.
Disguised as a derelict, you go down to the underworld section and see if you can pick up any leads. I'll be back when when you return. Okay, so before you go there, you notice the word derelict right there. What do you think in this particular case the word derelict means?
Um, Run down, not being used.
Well, that's
Well,
I think that's the
or by
traditional
yeah.
term, but he's actually he's saying
Oh,
that.
oh, you disguise as a derelict, a bum, basically, I guess.
What was
Or
that?
I didn't realize it was saying disguised as a derelict, so I was thinking it was for some reason referring to a part of the city. But it's probably more meaning like a bum or somebody that's been
That's what I would think too.
tossed away from society.
All right, continue.
Okay,
In an unsavory part of the city, News Blake, disguised, looks for a lead.
here comes here comes two tough looking mugs. I'll try them. Mister, can you spare a nickel for a cup of coffee?
Scram, tramp. Just a
J- j-
minute, Nick. I was gonna take those 2 cents I gave you.
well, I think that's the guy that he was hitting earlier that you had me
Oh,
read. That's why I was going to read him.
okay. Go for it.
Just because he seems to have the same clothes on.
Okay.
Just a just a minute, Nick. Maybe we can use him. How'd
Okay.
you like? How'd you like to make some real dough instead of mooching nickels? And how? Lead me to it.
Hmm. You look okay. Come with us, and your troubles will be over. Following the Green Mass orders, News presents himself as John Dokes and tells the two crooks he's without friend or relations. Now that particular phrasing was more popular back then. Today, how might we say that if we were to say that we were without friend or relations? How might we say that today? Rick?
Friends or family, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Relation sounds like he ain't getting any.
yeah. And um, this is John Dope, Rocky. He wants to make some dough. He's okay. Okay, Dope. Here's the setup. But first, you gotta sign some papers. This this is an this is an accident insurance policy. You got it. Pay the premiums, and then we fake an accident and collect. Okay. We got our own doctors and plenty of protection. You get a 50% split.
Count me in. Where do I sign? Sign, sucker. It's your death warrant.
Okay, return day after tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Thanks. I'll be seeing you. You.
News Blake returns to his room and makes his report to the Green Mask, who is waiting for him.
You were right, Rocky. You were right. Rocky Violin is behind the insurance racket. I've signed a policy.
Hmm. Good. You'll go back. You'll go back, and I'll see that it will be the end of Rocky Ballone's reign of death. On the appointed hour, News Blake, disguised as John Dokes, sets out to meet Rocky Vallone.
I hope the green mask doesn't slip up. I have a hunch that the accident awaiting me is going to be a fatal one.
Well, considering the storyline, what the racket they're trying to pull, yeah, that's a
Yeah, yeah, pretty
pretty good
good.
foreshadowing, right?
Hey, unless they're shipping everybody out of town after the supposed accident.
Yeah. News needn't have any fear for close behind, blending into the shadows. The green mask keeps close watch.
That's Dukes. When he steps into the street, run him down.
The green mask senses the situation and goes into lightning action. With its powerful motor wide open, the death car bears down on News Blake. With a terrific leap, the green mask springs for the crossbar of the um, traffic light directly above this hapless reporter. Wow,
What
traffic
the?
lights haven't changed all that much in 80 plus years, have they?
Yeah.
80, 85 years.
What
Um,
the? Yeah.
hooking his legs over over the bar, he swoops down and draws the intended victim out of the path of the speeding car. News is tossed to the sidewalk safely out of the way. Yeah, but the way he's going, it's almost like if he's not too careful, his momentum may take him right in the wall head first. There,
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, unless he hits the trash can, but still, that's gonna hurt too.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he'll meet Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. He might be a grouch after getting hit like that.
Yeah.
Toss like that.
Anyway, you're on.
Yeah. That was like an angel. Out of the blue, out of the sky. Well, I'll be. He's disappeared. Now I'll see what else Mr. Rocky Violin has in store for me.
I think it's actually pronounced Vallone.
Valone? Okay.
Yeah, Vallone. That's just
Okay,
my
my bad.
yeah. Back at Rocky's hideout, the driver reports back to Vallone, who is in a mad rage. You lying weak-livered punk! Next time, don't miss on my orders.
Someone's coming, Rocky. I think it's Stokes. Well, where am I? I wonder what's in store for me now.
On the roof of Rocky Vallone's building, the Green Mask plans the the thugs or to enter the thugs' flat. Now you remember what a flat is, right?
Yeah, apartment, house,
Yeah,
whatever, where somebody lives.
yeah, right. So you got here safe, huh? Okay, let's get going.
Swell. Now we're sure gonna make that dough, huh?
This is the way.
Okay, okay, punk. Get going.
I hmm, I think I'll invite myself to their cellar party. The Green Mask enters the room in close pursuit of the departed crooks. Hmm. This is one place where you won't escape, Mr. John Dokes, and your insurance will be paid in full.
What you? What do you want me to go in there for? Get in. and shut up or I'll blow your brains out. Well, there's something that hasn't changed in 80 years.
Yep. The green mask descends the stairway, but a guard at the bottom of the bottom hears his approach and raises his gun butt. And okay, what Rick? What
Yeah.
exactly is a gun butt?
The handle of the gun, basically,
The handle,
the hilt
or
or
what some people
whatever.
might think of as the back end of the gun, maybe. You know,
Yeah. Or the butt of the gun.
would be nice if we had a few more people here, at least to share in
Yeah.
the experience, huh?
Yeah, it would for sure. But hey, I'm enjoying.
Yeah, this sounds like a pretty interesting story, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I just enjoy reading some of these old comics, because you know, heck, just look at these couple panels here. I don't know what happened, but in the artwork you can see somebody messed up or something messed up at the printers, and the coloring is off on them just a little.
Hmm.
You can see them bleed out into the gutters or into another part of the costume or whatever. Like in the panel on the left, you see the red going onto his arm or out off his cape entirely.
Oh yeah.
It's, and then you see so
Wham!
sorry.
Well, here's a little love tap, sucker. Gee, it's the green mask. The green mask. Well, we'll get rid of him for good. Throw him in with Dokes. Then we'll collect on Dokes' policy.
Good Lord, it's the Green Mask.
Boy, what a headache! The place is being flooded. Outside, Valone gives the order to flood the room.
I, I thought they were already being flooded. He's giving it. I thought he would have given it before that
With, with,
panel.
with water rapidly filling the room, the green mass wades over to its source.
Well, we'll drown. It's coming up to our necks.
Powerful hands grip the faucet and twist the pipe. So, wow, he's got some super strength there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It,
Heck, I think twisting it like that might even because you would have to be twisting it further, way further back than just that spot.
yeah,
Possibly, you might just break the pipe outside.
yeah. Let's see. Until the cold, gushing water trickles to a stop. Hmm. They they should they should be back soon.
That was close.
Malone and his henchmen go to check on the bodies of the victims. They must be dead by now. Let the water out.
Okay, Rocky. The water's going down.
Hmm. When Mr. Rocky Malone and company come in, they'll get the surprise of their lives. That's kind of another classic way
Yeah.
of saying it.
Yeah.
As Rocky and his thugs enter the room, they are met by the Green Mask. Shock! And now, and not to be outdone by news, shoots a right to the jaw of the third crook. Read Wonder World comics on sale about the 28th of every month. Um, so we might say that a little differently. We wouldn't say about. We would say what, Rick?
Yeah, we would say on, but maybe
On
they're
or
thinking,
around, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, we have usually set days, like, it's usually the
Right.
Wednesday. We would say the third Wednesday or the fourth Wednesday, or we would know exactly which date. I
Whereas
guess these got,
back then, the release dates were a little more sporadic.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
they're obviously trying to get it out for the 28th of every month, but maybe the 28th is a
oh,
Sunday,
there's still more to the story apparently. I guess that was just put in. I guess
an
yeah,
ad.
there would have. I guess there would have had to been. But anyways, normally with something like that, that usually comes at the end of a story. But so I
Yeah.
thought. So anyways,
Well, that was also for a different book. It wasn't for this one or his story. So,
yeah. Um, tie them up and call the police. I'm going to see if there are any more victims. The green mass opens a dungeon door and finds terror-stricken people. Please, wait. Please don't kill us. Um, you're free. The police will be here in a few moments. Talk about a tricky transition, huh? On my
yeah,
part, doing the woman and then going back to doing the green mask.
yeah.
um, as news turns to the Rocky. Um, as news, that was the name of the guy, turns to the Rocky. The hoodlum raises his gun and strikes him over the head.
Oh,
Oh, and there's some more art issues right there. You see news
yeah,
right there. Your news.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you pick up on the art error
Yeah,
there
he's got a green jacket on instead, or green
instead
stuff
of
on is brown.
yeah.
And another thing here, well, if the background being green wouldn't have been so bad if you had the brown on, but with the green,
It's like the dark
jacket,
green over the olive green.
yeah, it doesn't go too well. You can see the difference, but it probably would have been better to be some other color.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, there's not a lot of detail in some of these panels, too, which,
Mm, mm.
and I was probably the thing for the time.
Well,
Unfortunately, people are doing it even
simplicity.
nowadays.
Simplicity, yeah. I mean, um, think about it. They're writing books where these anthologies, and they're usually like probably with these superhero anthologies, they've got like right around 7 to 8 stories per issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they got to
Well,
they got to be
yeah. Well,
like that,
like there is that many stories, but not everybody's doing. Not one person's doing all the stories. So
Right, you
you
have
know,
different people doing it, but still,
yeah,
um,
the simplicity, yeah, to get it done faster.
yeah.
I get it. Hey, sticky art.
Oh, sticky arts here, huh?
Yeah, he just said hello in the chat.
Well, hello. Um, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll stick around and enjoy more of our renditions here. Uh, what we're, and if you can like and share the stream, so we can get some more friendly people in here, that would be appreciated.
And right now we're in the middle of reading The Green Mask. We're almost done this story, and then we'll be going on to another one in this book.
Yeah. The desperate crook makes a run for the stairway to escape, but the alert green mask is right behind him.
Sticky says, I'm working on a short, but popped in. Well, thank you very much, Sticky.
Well, I hope
We
as
appreciate.
I said, I hope you'll stick around. And of course, if anything catches your attention, feel free to comment or ask about. We'll try to answer the question as best we can. Um, and we do. Anyways, as we continue on here, um, Rocky reaches his car, and with a roar, he speeds away. However, he has an occupant in the baggage car. Occupant in the baggage compartment, rather. Um, has an occupant in the baggage compartment. Rick, how might we say that today?
He's got some baggage in his trunk.
All right, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Boy, this crook has some baggage.
Yeah. After a wild ride, the speeding auto draws up to the home of Cyrus Boomer, a big shot politician.
And Sticky Art says, I'll chill for a bit. Well,
Well,
thank you.
thank
Thank
you,
you very
Sticky Art.
much.
We do appreciate it. Yeah, we see, and I'll give you some highlights. He said hello. I'm working on a short. Popped in. I'll chill for a bit. Right. Mm. The and I'll let you do the politician there too.
Uh-huh.
The green mask just broke up my mob.
You fool! I told you never to come here!
Isn't that always the case? uh, it's kind of like I don't know if you've seen some of the trailers for Mike Barron's Private American. I
I
know
don't
they're on
think so.
RJ's channel quite a bit, where he talks about how the one thing that that politicians and the rich fear the most is bad publicity, right?
Yeah.
The green mass enters silently through an open window.
Hey, this guy's dumb enough to keep his windows open.
It would just pop in there, yeah. An electric Victrola and blank records for Boomer's political speeches. I have an idea. So, electric Victrola. What do you think What do you think that is?
Well, for looking at the image, I'd say a record player, but
Mm-hmm.
probably a record player that you can make some sort of recordings on, since
Yeah, probably
he
what it is.
might be doing something else.
Maybe that's just maybe it's just a fancy way of saying record player too.
Yeah. Well, I think it was
Electric
a
Victrola.
brand name or whatever, and as it says, electric, so it plugs in. Probably
Mhm.
other ones that they didn't have were more wind up ones,
Yeah,
as we've seen in movies or whatever from the Victorian era, where they have that big horn thing or whatever you want to call it coming off
yeah.
of it.
Uh huh. That I think is its speaker.
Yeah.
All right. Unknown to either Rocky Vallone or Cyrus Boomer, the Green Mass starts the machine, and their conversation is recorded.
Well, basically, what I said, but I thought he was going to record something on it to scare him, but
Yeah,
he's recording them.
yeah, to get evidence,
Yeah.
obviously. Now, I think that still might be considered. Um, that still might be considered illegal. So that's like
Well,
improper.
it might depend on where you are, what state or whatever. Some places would consider it evidence, some places wouldn't. And this
Give
is
me half.
a,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is a fictional world. So,
Yeah.
maybe,
And of course, how they did pulp stories back then was pretty gritty too.
yeah.
um, um, Give me half of my dough. You're in this as deep as I am. If you don't, I'll spill all I know to the coppers about your being the head of this insurance ring. Picking up the hall phone, the green mask makes a hurried call. Hello, police? police headquarters, send a flying squad to the home of Cyrus Boomer, and also have News Blake, reporter of the Daily Globe, along. So, flying squad, what do you think that is?
You flying headquarters sent a flying. You would almost think it was air, but maybe it's
I guess it might just be another fancy way of saying like SWAT team or something like that, or send the
yeah,
cops over, send the paddy wagon, you know. Just some interesting, word usage, obviously.
yeah. That most of the time, things I find really self-explanatory, but that does have me stumped a little because it's not like they really had any new cops in the air back then, like
Mm,
a police helicopter. And I
yeah.
wouldn't even expect nowadays somebody to say send a police helicopter.
All right. Flying squad. So I'm guessing, like a SWAT. It's a fancy way of saying SWAT team. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways,
Yeah,
you're on.
yeah. All right, Roxy, don't get excited. I've got your share of the money right here.
Let's have it.
Here's your share, you rat. Bang!
Oh! Cyrus Boomer presses a button, and a gun hidden in a panel of the desk spurts death. Wow, look at that. Doesn't that remind you of some animation stuff, particularly from maybe the 80s and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Like if you
I was
remember, like Transformers, for example, where sometimes they'd have weapons coming, they'd have their hand and their hand would retract, and they'd have like, a gun come out or something like that.
yeah. I was actually expecting something like that, but I was expecting him to, grab it out of a drawer and, swing it up and shoot.
Yeah, that would be pretty likely what it would be. Anyways,
But, that's pretty ingenious that way too.
yeah,
But you would think that,
especially for that time.
obviously, this guy's never seen that before. But you would hope he would have seen some of this guy up front, you know. And my question is, did this guy install this gun himself, or did somebody else do it for him?
Hmm. Yeah, that might be
Because
interesting because then that would imply then there's even more to this ring than we know.
because I can't really see this guy be. He's a politician. Maybe I'm being presumptuous. I can't see him having the intelligence to, you know, figure, put this all together. You know,
Oh, yeah, but here's the thing too.
and
For
I
the
know
most
it's a
part,
comic book.
politicians come from other jobs. It's not like
Yeah,
I don't think nowadays. I don't think you've ever seen a case where like once a kid turns 18, they instantly get voted into office. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
doubt very seriously if it really happens like that. You know, they
Well, the
usually they usually are going to some form of job. So for all we know, maybe he could have been an inventor or a scientist or something like that. Now, based on how he's talking here, I doubt that. But
yeah.
that's a possibility, though.
Yeah, I'm not discounting the possibility. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely.
Yeah. All right, Boomer. Your number is up.
No, Green Mask. The Green Mask? No, you don't. I'll kill you too.
At that moment, police arrive. Okay, boys, in we go. What's the trouble? What's the trouble, Mister Boomer?
You forgot the.
Oh, Boomer. Boomer attempts a desperate plan. What's the trouble, Mister Boomer?
The police. These men tried to hold me up. I killed one of them and captured this one.
The Flame, a startling new adventure, now appearing in Wonder World comics on sale about the 28th of each month. So, anyways, for all we know, this may actually, let's see, because this did say,
I think we'll
well,
have one more page, maybe
yeah,
two, to tie this up.
yeah. Well, we'll need, yeah, we did. The police fall for the corrupt politician's ruse and congratulate him. Good work, Boomer. We've been looking for these men. Cyrus Boomer, Cyrus Boomer, you think you're clever, but you can't win. Hey, where are you going? Stop or I'll shoot. No, nowhere. I just feel like listening to some music. With the playing of the record, Boomer's incriminating words fill the room.
I'll spill. I'll spill.
Oh wait. I should that actually should be. I think that first part should be me because I'll spill all I know to the coppers about your being the head of the insurance ring.
All right, Rocky, don't get excited. I'll. I've got your share of the money right here.
Cyrus Boomer, realizing he is trapped, whirls and on the surprised police.
All right, I was at the head of the insurance racket, but you'll never take me alive. Stand back.
A streak of lightning in the form of the green mass hits Cyrus Boomer. News Blake excitedly relates this story to his managing editor.
The green mask comes through again. Hello, operator. The city desk, the Daily Globe. Step on it. Hello, Chief. I got it. Listen.
Um, here's your arch criminal, the head of the most vicious murdering in the annals of crime. Don't you just love that in the
Yeah.
annals of crime?
But the question is, did he murder anybody? They had all those hostages. Were they supposed to be the people that were supposed to be dead? Because at that point, it would become fraud and not murder.
Well, I mean, they probably did event because if you remember at the very beginning of the story, Wokstra, you know, they did
Yeah,
actually talk about people being murdered, so they may
yeah,
have.
but that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they thought they were murdered,
Oh, I see
but
what you're saying. In other words, because they actually did not show a corpus delicti in the actual story, therefore it's not confirmed if there was then actually anybody actually murdered.
yeah, or maybe there was a body or something, but it wasn't the body of the person that was murdered. Maybe they, just got a corpse that was already dead or something.
But then again, we saw that news as dopes. They actually did try to kill him, not once
Uh,
but twice.
yeah,
So
it, it's hard. It's hard to say, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. That was fun. That was fine work. Just who are you? And the green mask disappears into the darkness. That gentleman must remain a secret until society is purged of crime.
Which would be
Crime does
never.
not pay. A new adventure of the Green Mask every month. All right,
You missed the. You missed the.
Rick, I'm going to need to step away from the computer for a moment. So if you want to do some promotion,
Yeah, I was
um,
just gonna say you missed the one thing at the bottom of the second to last panel, and the green mask disappears into the
no,
darkness.
I actually said that first.
Oh, okay.
Probably should have said it second. I should have probably did the bubble first, but
Yeah.
the dialogue bubble first. But anyways, let me just try to do something here real quick. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm gonna step away from the computer for a moment. So if you want to, I'll enlarge you so that you can
Yeah.
want to do some.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do something while you do, but I'm gonna step away for like half a second to turn my fan on too. It's getting warm in here.
All right.
But
And we'll be right back, folks.
Okay, we're back, people. As you can see here, it's a bit fatter than it actually is. I am actually drawing up the green mask here. So I started earlier today in anticipation of this, got it up pretty good, at least I think. So, maybe you guys can tell me what you think of my drawing of the green mask here. So it's not something super good. It's a little detailed. Um, if we have time, we might color it tonight. But also, I've got one of the other characters here done as well, or somewhat done that I'll probably work on a little bit more too. And that is the Flame. Although we did do read him last month, but it's something I figured I'd add when I'm on the show. I'm an artist. I might suggest it to somebody else that comes on that's an artist as well. Something that they could do. Now he has a couple of things go down from the mask below. I have them here, but I don't think I'm gonna keep them. So there, except for his cape and his one hand, actually, we're pretty much done him. We'll come back here and we will draw up his hand. We'll get his glove on properly. We'll take some of this back. We need to make our eraser slightly bigger. Are you still here, Sticky? What do you think of my green mask that I got here? Okay, so there we go. We'll take the other couple layers below for him, and there we have pretty much the green mask. We don't have him colored. Maybe we can do that. Start to do that quickly. We'll just put a folder here. It's hard to say exactly what color the shirt and that all are. Let me take a look quickly. I do have them opened up as well. So we will let's see. Let's go here. We will. For he's really seems similar to the look actually, the original. Well, not the original Green Man or Blue Beetle. Well, the original, but they're not. But not the first look. The second look that they gave Dan Garrick for uh, him. And there we have another color. We'll go darker blue here. And of course, we have to. I think it's a red color, red for that um, stripe down the middle. Maybe it's yellow. It's hard to remember offhand. I'm gonna do the boots even darker here. Um, Actually, whatever color we do the boots, we'll do the gloves as well. So we're gonna. There we go. We'll do another layer here. This foot is a bit small.
All right, Rick, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
I'll let you finish up there real quick, and then
I'll
and then
just do this. I'll do this one boot, and whenever you have, maybe later if you have another time off, I'll either finish this up or start on um the other guy, the flame. But we're getting close, obviously, to that being done, or at least looking a little bit done. And I'm gonna go grab myself a drink real quick while you start talking, get to the next page and all that.
yeah, sure, yeah. Well, it's gonna take me a moment to obviously get to the next story. So next set of story. So I hope everybody enjoyed the Green Mass. It's probably one of the ones we'll be covering here. So let's see, Rex Dexter Mars, which was another popular feature back in those days. Oh wow. Okay, we're already past the hour mark. Wow. So actually, Rex Dexter by Dick Prefer, of course, and we'll just kind of look through here real quick. Not going to be one of the ones, but read through here a little bit. Billy Bounce, The Kid Detective by Norwin Lee. Ben Chang, Mastermind by Cecilia Nixon. Wing Turner, Air Detective, so another aviation bit here. Real life personal interviews, famous detectives by Leo Harris. So that's kind of here we go. Here's our next story. Here's one of the next stories that we're going to. So Zanzibar, The Magician by George Tuska. Oh wow, this is the first time I've ever seen Zanzibar here. Hey Rick, are you back? Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Look at Zanzibar right there. Does he remind you of anybody?
Probably reminds me of a few people, but just with that red hat, a mason or something like that.
Well, I was
uh,
thinking. I think maybe Yakko the Great.
yeah, which is in the other book that we're going to be in tonight
Yeah,
too.
yeah. just again because I think he has a similar look like that too. But anyway, and he's a magician as well.
Yeah. Well, doesn't he have more of a turban? I forget.
Yeah, but that kind of looks like a turban too.
Yeah, it's just a red bucket hat, for lack
Yeah.
of a better way of saying it.
Uh,
Like, it's a bit smaller, but oh, you can't really see it. I have a red bucket there that I made into sort of a
yeah.
helmet, but
Yeah. Zanzibar, the magician, has devoted his efforts and great mystic powers toward aiding the police. Ordinary in ordinary in his appearance, he is in reality a mental marvel.
I know what I was going to say. It's like one of the Shriner hats.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess that. Zanzibar has decided to spend the evening at home reading when he is suddenly interrupted by a ring of the telephone. Hello, Zanzibar. This is oh. Actually, you want to do that, and then I'll
What?
do Zanzibar.
Hello, Zanzibar. This is your friend Godfrey. I'm in danger. I'll explain when. Boom!
Hello, Godfrey. At Godfrey's apartment, Zanzibar makes a hasty investigation. Godfrey lies dead by the telephone. Shot through the head at close range. Godfrey's rooms are intact, but the wall safe is open and rifled. You know what rifled means in this case, Rick?
Either empty or gone through.
Gone through would be the correct answer there.
Yeah.
Um, let's see.
Well, by meaning gone is the stuff inside it, not
Like
the safe itself.
somebody went through and just kind of went through
To see
everything
what they,
basically,
yeah, to see what they
rifled
wanted.
through it, as it were.
Yeah.
Um, this whole thing looks strange. Godfrey was shot while telephoning. The murderer must be expecting me here. You want to do this guy?
You're right, Zanzibar. We did all this just to get you to come here. The police will bury your corpse alongside Godfrey's.
So the underworld has decided to put me on the spot, huh?
Eh? He's Canadian.
Zanzibar gestures and the guns leap as if a human from their hands. Look at that. Look at that, Rick.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of the art there on that effect?
Actually, not too bad.
I would think you'd want to comment more on some of the like, particularly for the effects type stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I'm not sure what you could do for. You could just take those yellow effects away, and it would probably be all right. But I think
well, I think
the
for I think for this time period though, for what they were trying to do, it's like basically he's mentally sending out a mental shockwave to their hands to force them to release the guns. And I think
mm,
and you see this a lot like I know saw this a lot in cartoons. You see it probably in comics too, where they'll show kind of that the aura of power, basically.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you like, okay, here's I think another example, right? And there are certain cartoons where okay, if you have somebody who's a telepath, right? A
yeah,
telepath, and they put their hands on their head like this, they
and you
close
have
their
waves
eyes,
coming
and you
out
see
from
the thought waves coming off their head, right?
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. I do. Unfortunately, like I said, this is I think a half decent effect. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's thought waves that are doing it, but especially back then, they they didn't have a think of a lot of different things
Remember,
for
this is
effects.
still early on. This is
Yeah,
still pretty early on in a lot of this
yeah,
too. This is the first issue, so
yeah.
okay. Miraculously, the pistols whirl through the air and drop into the magician's hands. Um, now, gents, we're going to headquarters. At police headquarters, the thugs are grilled, but to no avail. Who are you working for? Who's your boss? You want to do the thug there?
Uh, I ain't talking.
Playing a hunch, Zanzibar returns to Godfrey's apartment. There must be some clues there. Meanwhile, the top leader of the gang has followed his men to the apartment. I told you earlier that somebody might sound familiar. Somebody in this story might sound familiar to you.
Yeah.
You figure out who I'm talking about?
The gang leader.
Well, the gang leader here, he calls
Oh,
himself the top. If
oh
you
yeah.
remember, doesn't the Silver Age Flash also have an enemy called the Top?
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking when it said the top leader of the gang, he's not necessarily
Well,
called the
actually,
top.
from what I read earlier on GCD, um, the actual villain in this story's name is the Top.
Okay. Well, I just thought it was a reference to his position, although technically it is in quotes, so it's sort of, I guess that sort of does make it a name. But when
And
you
and
just,
there's and there's a comma there too.
yeah,
I know
but
you may not be able to see it on your end, but I just
I can
noticed
see
it.
it enough. But just with the in quotes would put it enough to be, like this is his gang name or whatever. But when I wasn't looking really at the punctuation when you're reading it. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it's, like they're just trying to describe his position in the gang.
Hmm.
But that was,
Somebody's coming. As Zanzibar enters the top enters the top brings his pistol smashing down. And again, an effect piece of artwork right there on the back of his head there.
yeah. Yeah, see, if you would have went to the next panel and read that, then I would have realized, they're using him the top as a name and not just a
Yeah,
description of his
yeah,
position.
yeah. Well, I may have jumped the gun a bit, but
Yeah.
the the top telephones his hideout. Hello, Tony. I've just slugged Zanzibar the magician. Yeah, send up a couple of boys to Godfrey's apartment. Blinding, blindfolded and tied, Zanzibar is driven to the wharf and dropped into a powerboat. To the hideout, boys.
Well, I think these guys have just fallen for the most obvious thing ever.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I think Zanzibar let himself get captured to get to their hideout.
Oh, you think so? Oh well, we'll wait and see. Well, here you are. Do you like my? Oh, well, here you are. Here we are. How do you like my hideout, Zanzibar? Can't see, huh? Too bad. Come in my office. You're a pretty slick magician, so I'm gonna use you to help us do a job on the bank. At the First National Bank, and the top and his men remove the bandage from Zanzibar's eyes. Open up the doors, magic eyes. Zanzibar glares the door open. After Zanzibar is blindfolded again, the mob returns to their car with the loot. Back to the hideout. Satisfied, cop? Sure. Now we're going to do something for you, Zanzibar. Once more, Zanzibar is slugged into unconsciousness and is lowered into a steel casket. Bolt the lid on tight and take him to the river. You want to do the other guy there?
Okay.
In the moonlight, the thugs drop the casket into the water. At the bottom of the stream, Zanzibar snaps the cord. Snaps the cord that was holding his hands together. Zanzibar removes the blindfold and stares at the casket cover. Suddenly, it bursts open, and Zanzibar swims to the surface. Yeah, interesting. Think about that for a moment. That, I would think, is somewhat dangerous. Because basically the casket must have been airtight, and then you all of a sudden exploded open, and you're right into seawater. It's like, I don't know. Wouldn't that sudden air pressure change be a bad thing?
Well, it doesn't say exactly where they are. It could be freshwater.
Well, that's true too. You make a point there.
But
and being that they could be in a river, yeah.
Well, he did say take him to the river, didn't he?
He probably did. Let me take a quick peek back. They have a point there, Rick. Let's see. Oh, stream. They said taking the stream. So, and a stream is like a river. It's, I think, a smaller river.
Yeah, so it's like
it is fresh water. So, all right.
So would this thing even be deep enough to bury the casket? How far does he have to get to the surface? This is a stream.
He swims ashore and walks toward a lonely house.
Although I have other questions. You know, like he was able to get these guns off these guys. He's able to open stuff with the thing. It's like he couldn't have just had that, thing over his eyes just unwrap, and he was able to break the cord. He couldn't have broken the cord sooner. He's creating a lot more work for himself here than what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been involved in a robbery because of this.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, we've talked about this before. Sometimes the logic of these stories doesn't always seem to fit.
Yeah, I know. It's just they do it because
we've had many. You and I have had many discussions about that particular aspect, right?
Yeah, but I always got to point it.
And I had him with Tim too, if you remember.
Yeah, I just got to point him out just because it's like although that said, I do enjoy them a little. It's just like I said, there's some faulty logic in these things. You probably find this stuff even in modern day comics too.
Yeah.
People not thinking things through completely.
Yeah. Zanzibar peers through the window. The Top's gang are deep in discourse. Zanzibar fades. The Top appears. This ought to do the trick. Disguised as the Top, he rushes in. Zanzibar is in there, disguised as me. Get him, boys. Falling for the ruse, the thugs rush in and empty their guns at the boss. Man, thugs are stupid, aren't they?
Yeah. And again, he's having these guys kill this guy.
Uh,
What kind of hero are you?
oh, there's a lot of this stuff that goes on in this time period. Even Superman
Yeah,
did
I,
some
I
things.
know, I
So,
know. It's just like, uh, well, I can see.
wow!
I
Bang,
was,
bang!
I was gonna say I can see killing when it's necessary, but when it's unnecessary, like this, you know.
Well, obviously, you had some very bloodthirsty comic book writers, didn't you, and artists?
Yeah. Anyways, I'll let you read
Yeah.
on.
They return to find Zanzibar himself again. The magician's eyes flash, and the gangsters fall into his power. And look at the old, and I'm sure you remember seeing this on a number of cartoons too. The old
Uh,
hypno rays, right? The
yeah,
whole hypno rays coming from the eyes. That was
and again,
classic. Oh, go ahead.
okay, I was just gonna say, and again, he's got this hypno power. He couldn't have used that earlier. Why get you thrown into the river? Why commit the robbery? Just
Well, because
hypnotize
right
it.
now the story is 4 pages. If they made it that simple and
It
made
would have
it
been
that
one
simple, it would
page.
only be two.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I do. It's just,
I mean, theoretically, heroes could just, if heroes were real and stuff, I mean, Superman could just, basically Superman could just sit there and use his heat vision to incinerate all the evil politicians out there, and we'd probably be off in a better world. But
yeah.
but
Well,
things are
I'm
not
not.
that easy.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying for stuff like that, a story like this, like, okay, I get that they want to make it so long and all that, but it's like he's got these powers, and I don't know how smart or dumb the kids were back then, but you know, you know, I'm sure some of them would be asking the same questions as me.
Well, I think they were probably a little bit more aware because remember, back in this time period, you think about the kids would have had to mature a little bit faster because look, you probably had some 12, 13 year olds who are working, right?
Yeah,
Like the paperboy we saw at the beginning in the beginning of the I think it was Green Massey walks.
yeah,
Remember those were like those usually were like 12, 13-year-old kids. So they probably were considered smarter than the kids of today are. You know.
yeah,
But well, I wouldn't smarter may not be the right word. Maybe they were more world wise because of the
yeah,
circumstances of the time. You know.
yeah.
Anyways, how would you boys like to visit the prison? You want to do the two guys right there?
Okay, good idea. Let's go. I'll get the boat ready.
Under Zanzibar's hypnotic influence, the thugs, strangely enough, are willing to go to jail. And the boat roars off into the darkness. The end. Let's see, again on time.
Yep, there was so much unnecessary stuff in this story.
Hour 39. I think we're. Alright, well, let me go back up. Hemlock Sholmes and Dr. Potsum, Super Sleuths. Oh, this is obviously a parody feature right
Sherlock
here.
Holmes
Yeah.
and Dr. Watson.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes parody feature right here. The Haunted House is by William E. Eisner. There's a text story here. A Waco kid. And going through because we're already past the hour and a half mark. Inspector Bancroft of Scotland Yard. And if you want to also comment on the art here, on some of this stuff. And here we go. The Blue Beetle by Charles Nichols.
Okay.
While Dan Garrett was patrolling his beat, a car with the muzzle of a machine gun protruding from a window suddenly swooped down on him. Dan dropped to the sidewalk and fired at the automobile. Oh, look at that. Now, here's one of the tricky things I saw in a lot of these too. Now, I think what they're depicting him as being a blonde guy right there, right? But
Yeah, it seems that way.
how they're doing the art,
Yeah.
almost every his whole head, including his hair, looks flesh colored.
Yeah. Well, in some ways, I don't even think they colored his face or his head there. I think that's the color from the roadway bleeding through into his face.
Hmm.
It almost looks the same.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see here as we continue on. A man thrown from the speeding car. Dan Garrett feels pain shoot up his left arm. Heedless of his wound, goes to the fallen man. Hmm. I wonder who fell out of that car. It's Mr. Vander, the banker, who was kidnapped.
And again, you see it here. I was going to say,
Actually,
you see it.
okay, that may have been a kid. I thought it looked kind of like a woman to me.
Oh, no, it looks like a woman to me, too. No, I was just going to say the hair, her hair got skin colored, too. Whoever did this, the coloring, I think even for this time, they did a very shoddy job.
Well, okay, I think the thing is though, back then, you know,
Oh,
all aspects of the art were done by like one person usually.
yeah.
In other
Well,
words, back then, the artist did the art, the inking, the lettering, the coloring.
well, they
Unlike
might not.
today, where you have one person who does each thing,
Yeah, yeah,
where you have a separate person doing each thing, one person did like the whole thing.
yeah. Well, I think somebody different might have did the lettering, but you're right. I think probably somebody did the pencils, inks, and colors. One person possibly.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way to tell for these stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of your stuff says who did all that thing that you
Yeah.
read
Yeah.
or cite. Anyways,
Yeah.
let you
Yeah.
go on.
All right. Take it easy, old man. Don't try to say anything just yet. You want to do the old man here?
Okay. It was the white face king. Oh.
In the sergeant's office, Mr. Vander died at 10 p.m. Dan, but there is still his daughter and his secretary. And his secretary John Brandis being held. Aren't there any clues? Only the car that they ditched. We haven't examined it yet, Dan. That arm of yours needs rest. Take the rest of the day off. Ah. Later, Dan Garrett, dressed in civilian clothes, looks over the gangster's car. The number was filed off as usual. He puts a drop of a specifically prepared chemical on the filed off surface. A little science going on here, huh?
Yeah, stuff we do nowadays.
Yeah.
to re-get this
In
stuff.
a few minutes, the numbers will appear, and later at headquarters, the car belonged to Mike Raven, a garage owner. That night, Dan visits a druggist, an old friend of his. You want to do the druggist?
All right. Why? Hello, Dan.
Hello, Abe. I'm going to the back room. A light flickers for several minutes and then dies out. A figure emerges and drives away in a high-powered car. In another part of the city, on the top floor of a dirty garage, the banker's daughter is being tortured. Wow, I wonder. Now get this. Now you think this would be happening? I don't. Well, let me ask you something, Rick. You think this would be happening in today's comics? Actually torturing a woman like this?
Well, it doesn't look like they're torturing her too much. They said they're torturing her, but she just seems tied up.
Well, let's see. Okay. You want to do the thug right there?
Yeah. Be sensible now, girlie. Better tell us the combination or you'll get burned.
So that they're torturing her with fire.
Yeah, they're threatening to. Anyways.
Oh, and I think I know what they're. And this was another classic form of torture, particularly among Chinese bad guys. You understand what they're doing there? Look at the
What?
picture right there. You know what do you notice?
Just a candle. Probably
Well,
just.
no, the previous panel. Look more like towards her legs.
I know there's stuff on the floor, but I can't make out what. There might
Well,
be red
I think
paint or.
the thing on the floor there, I think, is her shoe. I think her foot is
Uh,
exposed. You
yeah.
know, because I know that a common trope at a common thing at that point, what they would suggest, was a common torture practice is they take like a candle or a lighter and light it
Yeah.
and then put it like right under your foot, basically.
Yeah.
They would burn your foot. It's a form of foot torture.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're
That,
doing there.
it could very well be. That's, or threatening to do it, take the shoe off and get ready to show a
Right.
lighter or lit candle, which, there's, you see one on the
In the next panel
table.
there.
Even on the first panel there, where you see her on the counter there, you see the thing, the
Yeah.
candle,
Yeah. Suddenly, one of the thugs stops in his tracks. His eyes widen with terror.
A blue beetle.
Look, the blue beetle. Want to do the other one there?
What do you want, Blue Beetle? And it's the panel we saw earlier that you were showed earlier.
When we were talking about the intro there. And again, he's more in the business suit and the fedora.
Yeah, just even like he is there too.
As opposed to what we would come to know later.
Yeah.
It won't be necessary to torture that girl any longer. I know the combination to the bank vault, and if you give me 40% of the take, I'll tell you.
How do I know I can trust you?
You'll have to take the chance. Well, do you want to play ball? Then the telephone rings, and the leader picks it up.
Yeah, but who is this? All right, Blue Beetle, it's a deal. Let's have the vault combination.
It's 2 left, 1 right, then 3 left, and 4 complete turns.
Yeah, yeah. But what are the numbers? Or maybe I just don't realize how locks work back then.
Well,
Combination
those
lock.
probably were the numbers.
Yeah, but he just says 2 left, 1 right, and 3 left, and then 4 complete turns. That you're not stopping on, unless you're stopping on 2, then 1, then 3. And
That
where do you
could be
stop?
that could be what it is.
And then when do you stop? What do you stop on 4? I don't know.
I don't. I
It's a little
don't know.
it's a little confusing to me to knowing how combination blocks work nowadays, but
Uh-huh.
like I said, it could be different back then,
Yeah. Anyways, you're up.
Anyways, the facts check up with the information I've just received, but you're coming with us just in case it's a double cross.
Try and lose me. Or try and lose me. Left alone for a moment, the Blue Beetle takes out a small instrument which he invented. Hello, police police headquarters.
It's a
And
cell phone.
look at the little circle there. Look at the circle there.
Yeah, the Blue
The Blue
Beetle.
Beetle wireless phone.
Hey, it's a cell phone before its time.
Yeah. At the police station. What?
And
What?
I was gonna say even before Star Trek.
Yeah. Yep. 30 years before Star Trek. At the police station. What? The Blue Beetle at the National Bank tonight? But hey, wait a minute. Meanwhile, the the gangsters arrive at the bank.
Okay, boys, you have your orders.
The gangsters enter the bank. The yawning muzzles of the machine guns hungrily sweeping the interior. That's a very interesting way to put something, isn't it?
Yeah, raise them high. You want me to do the other one there?
I guess I can do it. We cut the alarm system, boss. Um, in vain, the leader twirls the dials.
The Blue Beetle double crossed us. Grab him!
The Blue Beetle acts quickly. Shock! As the gangsters surround him, the Blue Beetle hurls a capsule.
Yes!
And then makes for his powerful car. One side, please. After him. Wait, that's you.
After him. That's the Blue Beetle's car. Well, that could have been a cop too. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Take his mask off, O'Donnell.
if it wasn't for the Blue Beetle, you wouldn't have caught us. I can't see. I'm blinded from the gas.
Don't shoot, coppers. We give up. Don't shoot, coppers. We give up. Why? It's John Brandis, Mr. Vander's secretary. Later in Abe's drugstore, Abe, if you hadn't called the white face at that time, my plan would have failed. Abe's a little bit older there, so you might want to.
Yeah. You're a brave one. Brave boy, Dan.
The white face thought that someone was tipping him off, and when I gave him the same combination as you gave him over the phone, he believed that I was playing his game. Wub Street! Blue Beetle again eludes police. Next morning, Dan is
I
back in uniform, patrolling his beat. You want to try to do now,
yeah.
Mike? That's Mike Manigan. That's it. That's his regular partner. You see, I would think based on his design there, seem a little gruffer.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that seems like the same newspaper guy from the first story with the walk street.
Yeah.
Anyways, you should have been there, Dan. Nearly got Blue Beetle. I had him in my hands, but he got away. Sure, I gave him an awful scar.
I think it's scare, not scar.
Scare. Yeah.
You did? Maybe you'll get him yet. The Blue Beetle appears in Mystery Men comics every month. So we'll breeze through the rest of this, and we'll go over to Wonder World number 4 here. We're just gonna flash through the rest of this. Let's see, D13 cut Secret Agent. The Bengal Lancers. Any Scott's Bengal Lancers.
Some of these stories, I'm not sure whether they get away with doing them today. You know, like the Bengal one there, and there's a couple in the next one too. But
Lieutenant Drake, Naval Intelligence. Thousands of kids are reading Wonder World comic. Action, thrills, fun. On sale about the 28th of every month. Every month, read The Flame. Rising out of the fires of the unknown, he fights the underworld. Yarko the Great, master of magic. Dr. Fung, master sleuth of the Orient.
yeah,
a lot of these Chinese-based characters would probably not go over well today either.
yeah.
In fact, next week, I am going to read. Now, Charlie Chan is a classic character, but his characterization would probably not go over too well today in some respects. Everybody Patio Day, newsreel reporter, Mob Buster Robinson, K-51 Spies at War, and a host of others. So head over there, head over to that book here in a moment. And I think we're only going to have enough time for like one more
Story. Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, so we won't get to Spark Stevens this time, but I think because we're already at an hour 59, so I am gonna probably end up pushing this to like 2 hours. It looks, or beyond 2 hours. I hope I don't go to 2.5 again, but
well, this story should be shorter, right? So
the Flame is actually another like I think 7 or 8 pages. I think so.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on our commentary. That's what did us. It probably did us in a lot of commentary this time, which is good though.
Oh yeah. Well, I did get started too early, just just to try to. Plus, I know I had to walk away a few times, but things happen. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, so hey Rick, if you can make a comment in the thing there, see if we can get the viewership up there. Okay, so anyways. All right, so Wonder World Comics is going to be the next one here, number 4. do the flame, our old buddy, the flame. Let's see.
Yeah,
At least some people did drop in because I was noticing we up to 5 likes there. So of course technically four because I think one of those is a YouTube like that disappears afterwards. Right, so here we go. 64 pages of full color every month of flame. We're gonna go right to the flame and then just
yeah.
read through it.
It'd be neat for me to do a crossover with this Flame. Maybe have him operate during World War I as a character.
Yeah. The Flame by Basil Barold. Along a lonely road, a car races at a terrific clip. What do you think clip means right there, Rick?
I would say speed in this case.
Yep. Occasionally, the driver looks back with a frightened glance. If only I can reach the city limits in time. Not far behind, gaining steadily, a powerful black limousine follows relentlessly. Finally, with a great spurt, the limousine surges ahead and forces the escaping car to a sudden halt on the side of the road. You want to do the math, guys, there?
Okay. You've led us to a merry chase, but now we're taking you back. Move over. I'll take the wheel. Although that car does look either like it could be the Flames car or what's the Blue Beetles car.
Hmm. At that moment, a strange plane circles overhead. At its controls is the flame, who intently watches the scene below. Now, was it you who was with me the last time I did the flame?
Yeah,
Okay, so you remember a lot of this, right?
yeah.
Hmm. What's
The
this? A hooded gang? So they're trying their hands at kidnapping. Well, we'll see about that. I gave you the thugs there, but it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
okay. Oh, did you read the narration in the top panel? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
was it
I did.
okay? That wasn't narration. That was him talking. Sorry, my bad. Look, that plane. It's headed straight for us. We better get away.
With throttle wide open, the flame dives at the cars in an effort to stop them, but suddenly they turn into a side road, winding through a forest.
He'll never see us through these trees. We'll leave the car here by the watchtower and go the rest of the way on foot. It is useless to resist, Doxel. Our master, he shall make you his slave, just as he has us. There ahead is the house of Doxel, the headquarters of our organization. Presently, you will be one of us.
Join us. Don't know if you remember that song. I mean, I not only was able to have just that one, there's two lyrics, but I don't know if you've ever heard that one before.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm probably not singing enough of it to garner any memories of it. But anyways, Meanwhile, the flame lands in a field close by, separated from the dark building by tall trees. Hmm. The plane will be safe enough here while I look about. And look about means to look around.
Yeah.
Back then, about was used more like how we would use around today.
Yeah, I'm going for a walkabout.
Um, that window seems like the best entrance. My flame gun can cut through these iron bars easily. Twisting them apart will be simple. Strange. The place looks deserted, yet I'm sure it came here. I'll try this corridor. Unknown to the flame, evil eyes watch his every move. A bony hand reaches out and presses a button. Suddenly, panels drop in front and behind him. Another classic thing you'd see in a lot of
Yeah,
cartoons. Huh?
yeah, for sure.
Classic trap mechanism right there. Um, the flame is completely imprisoned. With a mighty effort, the flame tries vainly to resist as the advancing walls close in. Oh, here's another classic trap panel. The walls there moving toward me. The space is becoming small, smaller and smaller. Soon I'll be crushed. In another part of the house of horrors, Doxel sits on a throne before his slaves. New members are to be forced into his service. You want to do Doxel here?
Okay, okay. For you, who are to be introduced into my service this day, let me make this clear. During the proceedings that follow, you will be unharmed physically, but by my power of mystic formula, I will have complete control over your mind. You will do as I bid, rob, burn, and murder. If need be, I shall be your master, and you my slaves. You may then return to your homes, but you will always obey me, Doxel, your
Oh,
master!
you are doing such a great job with that voice. I think you really hit that voice pretty well. I think you have another panel there.
Yeah. Bring up the mystic solution and the hypodermic needles.
With a flourish, Doxel removes his hood, revealing a face that is horrible beyond description. Hey, look, there's the face that goes with that voice, Rick.
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I'm probably inspired the voice a little bit by Cobra Commander.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I can hear a little bit of that. The late Chris Latta,
Yeah,
who did the Cobra Commander's voice back in the '80s.
yeah. Have the ceremony begin! You're a pretty one for attempting to escape. You shall be the first.
No, no. The screaming girl is carried upon the platform and fastened securely to a chair.
No. Uh, now, the ceremonial fire! I am impatient to start!
That is a very good voice you're doing for this character. Genius, my friend, genius. Oh, the hall becomes deathly still, except for the unearthly chant of Doxel. Just then, the fire begins to warp in an unnatural manner.
The fire is
Uh,
dimming. What? How? I'm not sure whether it was supposed to be Doxel or. Well, it's showing his face, so I guess it should have been Doxel. The fire is diminishing! What? How?
the blaze shoots up brilliantly, and from the blinding glare, the flame appears, gradually taking normal shape. Thank you for lighting the fires. It afforded a means of escape for me.
Seize him, men! Keep him away from me!
Flame easily withstands the onslaught. Doxel seizes the opportunity to escape. He steps behind a sliding panel. Again, another classic trope there.
Yep.
He rapidly descends to an underground hangar where a fast plane rests in a catapult ready for instant launch.
Instant flight. But same diff.
Like a rocket, Doxel's ship is released from its hidden hangar and roars skyward. But a moment later, the flame is close on his heels. He springs to his plane. The power of the hooded gang lies in the leadership of Doxel. Without him, they wouldn't. They would once again be normal humans. I must capture him. And the flame roars in pursuit.
I think before he could even catch up to him, he would be so far gone.
Well, maybe he somehow developed a supersonic biplane.
Well, no, I just mean, okay, first he's got to escape wherever they are in that dungeon, right? Get outside. Then he's got to run to his plane. I'm not sure how far that's away from the thing. Then he's got to start up his plane and get into the sky. This guy is already launched before he even stepped outside of the house.
Yeah.
But, it's comics.
Yeah. As the flame ship swiftly climbs, Doxel zooms about and brings his machine gun into play. That won't do you any good, Doxel. This is the end for you. And then you see the plane, see the flames plane look like it's going on a rise there. See that?
Yeah.
The flame brings his gun into play, shooting a stream of fire at the hooded master's motor with a sickening hail. Doxel's plane noses toward the ground and crashes into a great burst of flame. What do you think in this particular case? What do you think noses mean here in this context?
The front of the plane, the tip of the plane. Like,
Well,
or the. Well,
I would
I was going
think,
to say propeller, but
yeah.
depends on where the
I would
propeller.
think in this. I mean, here, let me read that again. I want you to listen listen to exactly how that word is being used here. Okay. With a sickening hail, Doxel's plane noses towards the ground and crashes
Oh,
into a
oh,
great burst of flame.
oh, it noses towards the ground. In other words, it's go eh, sort of it's
Going
going
down, diving, maybe?
it's going down front first.
Right.
Like a nose dive of the plane, and
Right.
uh, and that's because usually people refer to the front of the plane as the nose.
Hmm.
The nose knows, you know.
Yep. As the flame lands, a car drives up and out.
Is there any thing in that side panel
No,
that you
there's not. I just checked it. There wasn't any
uh,
dialogue or anything like that in that other thing.
okay?
That was just a plane crashing. So, anyways, as the flame lands, a car drives up and out steps the girl he had saved from the Mad Doctor's clutches. How, how are the others, Miss? What's happened to the gang? When Doctor died, his evil power died with him. His former slaves have returned to their normal selves. But you, why did you remain?
Didn't he just die? She's driving the car before that to get to
Again, don't have much of an answer for you with
him.
that.
Well, I know. I'm just pointing out some of the fallacies. Like I said, I know it's comics. Especially back then. They did.
There's the idea of suspension of belief too.
Yeah.
I want to thank you personally for what you've done for me. I think you're wonderful. Nope. Thank you, miss. Why, he's disappeared in a puff of smoke, plain and all. And high overhead, speeding into the setting sun, roars the flame, heading toward new adventures. The flame appears in each issue of Wonder World Comics on sale about the 28th of each month. All right, so
I
and
guess that's very. I guess that's very plain to see.
I'll like let's see what yeah, okay. 2 hours and 18 minutes. All right.
Yeah, probably time to do this day in each history.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Was thinking of flashing to this, but I think it just might take just a little too long to flash through the rest of this.
Uh, Although when I flashed through it earlier myself, there was one other story that I noticed that if we had the time, we might have been able to read, but obviously we
Well,
can't.
if that was the case, I was gonna read Spark Stevens. I don't know if that
Yeah.
was the one you were
No,
talking
well,
about.
that one I saw that one, but I was thinking Tom Brady of the Mounted Police,
Uh,
of the Royal Mounted Police.
hmm. Tom
Yeah,
Brady of the Royal Mounted. Well, there's a double entendre there. But anyways,
yeah.
so we're
It was basically a Mountie story.
yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
anyways, without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and um, today being Friday, November 11th. Happy for those in the states. Happy Veterans Day. And Rick, I think you were telling me there's a holiday on your end too.
Uh, I'm not sure whether I'd call it. Well, some places it's actually a holiday, you get it off, but it's basically Remembrance Day here, which is basically the same as your Veterans Day, remembering
Or you
the
want to just
people.
wish people a happy Remembrance Day then?
Yeah, for sure. Anybody in Canada, happy Remembrance Day, and anybody in the States, happy Veterans Day.
Okay. So, without any further ado, today is Friday, November the 11th, 2022. So, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! 1998 to 2007, I believe, right? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, 2007, and then, of course, 2017. Okay, so first off, we're going to head back to 1998, which was, of course, 24 years ago today.
Ooh. I was just still in high school in 1998.
Yeah.
No, no, I graduated in 97, so I was out. So, sorry, I'm wrong.
I was out in the world in 1998. I was like 22, going on 23. So, well, on this day I was 23 by this point. But anyways, on this date in 1998, the 35th, the penultimate and 35th and penultimate issue of Gen 13 from Image Comics went on sale on this date back in 1998. They did it through their Wildstorm imprint. It sold for $250 with 32 pages. Title of the story was "But You Can't Hide." 22 pages, written by John Anguti, with Gary Frank doing the penciling, Cam Smith doing the inking, Bill O'Neill doing the lettering, and Wildstorm FX doing the coloring. So I guess Wildstorm FX, maybe that's more like a computer or something as opposed to an actual person. And
Yeah,
then
I wonder how they get the.
Gary Frank did the penciling and Cam Smith did the inking on the cover.
Yeah, yeah.
So on this date, 1988, the 35th and penultimate issue of Gen 13 went on sale on this date. Sorry, Rick, you were about to say something there?
I'm just wondering how they would have got a program to do all the coloring by itself.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
Wasn't there.
I know. I'm just. I think of these things and
Yeah.
I ask
Okay.
the rhetorical questions.
Yeah. Anyways, heading up to the year 2002. On this date in 2002, in the Go Home Raw before Survivor Series, the following Sunday here, WWE had Monday Night Raw from the U.S. Bank Arena in Cincinnati, Ohio, in which you had, of course, Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross on commentary. In the main event, saw Triple H defeat Booker T in a 5 minutes 14. The night started off with a WWE Tag Team Championship match in which Chris Jericho and Christian retained the title via DQ loss to Kane and Rob Van Dam. Among some of the other matches on the card included Batista defeating D'Lo Brown in just over a minute and a half, Christopher Nowinski defeating Al Snow in just over a minute and a half, and in just under 3 minutes, 3-minute warning, the late Jamal and Rosie defeated Bubba Ray Dudley and Spike Dudley. So on this date, 20 years ago today, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the U.S. Bank Arena in Cincinnati, Ohio. Moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history here. On this date in 2007, which was 15 years ago today, the final episode of Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, which was an Adult Swim presentation, completed its run. So on this date in 2007, 15 years ago today, final episode of Lucy, Daughter of the Devil, premiered on Adult Swim. Actually, it was the first Adult Swim series to feature a female protagonist. Now, in this case, of course, I think protagonist actually means main character, not necessarily good guy, since we're talking about the daughter of the devil here.
Yeah.
obviously most of us would not think of that as a good guy or a good girl, right?
Yeah.
All right, so getting ready to move on to the next, to actually the final bit of niche history here. As on this date in on this date in 2017, 5 years ago today, from Nippon Animation, the anime film Haikara-san, Here Comes Miss Modern Part 1 premiered on this date in 2017. Premiered in movie theaters in Japan on this date in 2017. So on this date, 5 years ago today, the Nippon Animation's Haikara-san, Here Comes Miss Modern Part 1 premiered in Japanese movie theaters. So there we go. I thank everybody for being here tonight. Rick, if you can stick around for after the show for a couple minutes.
Yep.
Um,
Certainly.
I hope everybody enjoyed the content. Next week, of course, Timothy Olsen will be with me. Um, he'll be with me to he'll be with me as my co-host. As we'll be finishing up June of 1939 next week with looking over books that went on sale in quality, and of course on Monday we get back to the niche news headlines and all that. So until then, bye.
Who